Sorry if you can hear noise outside. I'm hot. I'm hot and the window's gonna be down. It is what it is. Hello my loves, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome to the family if you're new. My name is Courtney, aka Divinely Time Tarot, and I do all things tarot, spirituality, divination, juicy stuff. So today's video is going to be us talking about the planets, okay? My last video was the zodiac signs, so I think it makes sense to move on to the planets now. Think of the planets as where certain archetypes and characteristics of the zodiac signs actually show up and manifest in our lives. So for example, the first one that we're going to talk about is the sun. So if the planet the sun in your chart is ruled by or is in the zodiac sign of Aries, which is the first zodiac sign in age. If you are a sun in Aries, then you will express Aries traits in this area of life that the sun rules or describes. So hopefully this makes sense. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about the 7 traditional planets first, which aka means the 7 planets that could be seen with the naked eye back in the day when astrology was astrology and for the first time. And obviously in our solar system there are planets, suns, stars, asteroids, moons, rocks, all kinds of things, okay? But we're just going to talk about what's relevant here in astrology. Okay, we're going to get into it starting with the sun. The sun is known as a luminary, so it brings things to light. It shines lights on different areas of our lives and different characteristics. So when you think of the sun, you can think of vision, sight, understanding, wisdom. The sun also kind of rules our ego, right? How we view ourselves and how we might want others to view us. The sun is surrounding all things career, money. Well, not all things money, but career wise. It talks about your career, what you are interested in as far as hobbies. It's almost as if the sun expresses and describes our aspirations in life. So the things that we're working towards every day, the things that we make goals for ourselves, can be explained through our sun sign. The sun is also known to be a very consistent force. So the sun changes signs very consistently. There is no void period, which is like a period of nothingness, no transits, no significant energetic things. Last but not least, the sun is represented in a masculine sense. So this could represent fathers, father figures, or if you have a sun sign, for example, my sun is in Libra. Libra is already a masculine sign, so that's a masculine sign in a masculine placement. Yeah, so the sun is basically what we want our lives to revolve around, and the things that we see as ambitious or see as this is what I want my life to be, right? So moving on, right after that is our next luminary, which is the moon. Now the moon does shine light, okay, but it doesn't necessarily shine, it reflects. So the moon is very reflective. Any sign that is in your moon sign, you will likely reflect in those ways. So for example, and not to just be telling all my chart, my business, I guess, but my moon sign is Aquarius. So all things that are Aquarius related will show up through my moon sign. So show up through reflection. The moon sign is about our emotions and our emotional states. So anything Aquarius will show up in an emotional state. I hope this is making sense. I'm not going to do this for everyone, so I'm hoping that you're understanding how the zodiac signs do play into our expressions along with the planets, not just our signs. So continuing on with the moon represents very nurturing and very caring energy. The moon is a learner, is a teacher, so this is where the reflection helps, right? The sun shines this bright light and it pops off of the sun onto the moon, onto us, onto the waters, onto the grounds, right? This is almost like our subconscious. Think of the sun as our conscious and the moon as our subconscious. That's a great way to put it. The moon does change signs. The moon does change signs a lot more often than the sun does. So, although the sun is thought of as consistent, the moon is thought of as rhythmic. Okay, that's a good word for it. Or even cyclical might be a good word for it. The moon is known for being it's not, the moon itself isn't fertile, but the energy is very fertile. So this is almost like setting the perfect tone and temperature for growth. The reflection, the emotional maturity, the emotional just awareness that the moon gives us is really shown in feminine ways. So as the sun is masculine, the moon is feminine. As the sun represents father figures, the moon represents mother figures. And another thing to note is, since the sun is more so aspirations, things to get us to our goals, the moon is the day-to-day, the mundane maybe kind of things, but nonetheless very important. Last but not least, the moon can represent our self-care and how we love ourselves, how we treat ourselves, probably when no one's watching, right? Your moon sign is very intimate. Your sun sign, you grow into your sun sign as time goes on, and people see it very clearly. Your moon sign is very private. It's more so, people will see your moon sign either if you're upset, obviously, if you're riled up about something, or if you're just very emotionally in tune with them. You have a connection with this person, they will see that deeper side of you. Next up, we have Mercury. I like Mercury. Mercury gives like talkative worker, like talkative, productive worker. Mercury is a very declarative energy. Mercury rules communication, so this is all things getting ish done, kind of. Something interesting to note is Mercury is not feminine or masculine. You can think of it as neither, okay? It's not necessarily androgynous either. It's really just like neither. It's like very neutral energy. Mercury, since it rules communication, is very much about intellectualizing things. It's about understanding things. It can be about commerce or trading, since this, like I said, is ruling communication and productivity. Mercury is all about the facts and the data. Like, although other planets may rule, let's say, business, Mercury is about the facts, the data. What does this say that is true and known to be? This is what Mercury is interested in. Mercury might be known for switching sides, so depending on what zodiac sign you have in Mercury here, you could be known as very flip-floppy in your communication. Almost like Mercury plays its own devil's advocate, right? It likes to ponder, it likes to think, it likes to intellectualize, and it likes to be very aware about what's going on. Not necessarily just the experience, but literally, it's like the difference between understanding, oh, okay, today is a beautiful day, the sun is shining bright, versus today is a beautiful day because the sun is shining in this direction, in this trajectory, like, you know what I mean? It's giving that. Okay, next up we have Venus. Everybody loves Miss Venus. Venus is definitely feminine. It's known for its femininity. It's known also for its attraction and its aesthetics, right? It's very beautiful. It's very much about the way things feel and sound and taste and look, right? This is the senses. It's also very fertile, more fertile for sure than the moon, because it rules love, it rules relationships, connections, physical and non-physical. Venus is very it's almost like a breeding ground, and I know that sounds gross, but that's kind of the energy. It's like this nighttime, feminine, seductive, artistic, pleasurable energy. Like I said, Venus rules our values, our value systems, the things that we see as important beliefs wise. It also talks about unification. So this is why relationships, love, connection is very important, because it's the joining, the unification of multiple energies. Venus is all about that. So just to give an example, I said I wasn't gonna do it anymore, but my Venus is in Scorpio. So all things Scorpio related is how I express these things that Venus rules. So my love languages, my values, physical pleasure. Look at your sign, whatever sign it's in, and kind of piece it together. Watch my other video to understand what the signs mean and the characteristics, and literally plug those in to your planets, and things will start to make so much sense. I swear to God. Next up is Mars. Mars is determination. Mars is action. Mars is, I'm gonna get this ish done, okay? Mars is about almost like the cutting and striking away of things, right? So when you really need to get something done and you need to get it done almost ruthlessly, this is Mars. Mars is in the sense a masculine energy, very productive, very action oriented, not so much receiving at all, very much about going out and getting. Mars also deals with physical working, so depending on what sign you have there in Mars, you could be very attracted to physical jobs. So for example, if your Mars is in Taurus, Taurus is a very physical sign as is. So if your Mars is in Taurus, you probably are extremely physical. You might like to fight. When you get angry, aggressive, it might be very cutting. Another thing with Mars is, like I said, since this is all about exertion, it can be kind of overwhelming. The energy of Mars can be violent, it can be intense, but it's all for a reason. Mars is known to do these things because it's like, think of Mars as, I know I need to get this done, I don't want to, but I'm gonna do it. Yeah. Mars is very dry, very hot. So think of that when you think of Mars energetically. As well as Mars rules kind of dishonesty and lying and cutting corners to get to where you want to be. So look at your Mars sign and see, how that's expressed. That's all I'm gonna say. Next up is Jupiter. I love Jupiter, my fave. Hey, boo. Jupiter is the planet of expansion and growth. It's the energy, almost thinking of Taurus. When you think of Taurus, you might think very plant-like, very lively, rivers and streams and trees, and this is what I think of when I think of Jupiter. One thing to note, Jupiter, because of how big and bold and dramatic this energy can be, it can either be really life-changing in a great way, life-providing, or it can be very life-changing in a bad way, life-ending. Maybe not ending, but draining, or a very dramatic word to use, but cancerous, right? This is very true. This energy can eat away at you if not expressed and used in a positive way. Jupiter is also very hot, but it's also very moist, which is very good for growth. You'll see a lot of, with Jupiter, there's a lot of expression in teaching and learning and guiding. So depending on your Jupiter, whatever sign you have there, if you are into teaching or if you're into being a leader of some sort, a guru, maybe look at your Jupiter and see how that's expressed, and that might help you. Jupiter is like the wisdom that you get from living, right? This is the knowledge that you get from actually experiencing. Mercury is more so the data that that's been done and tried. You know this for a fact. But Jupiter is more so, what do I have to learn based on what's happened or what's going to happen? Last but not least, Jupiter really rules trust. It's all about trusting in faith, and it affirms. It's very affirming, and it's active affirmation. This is not kind of like maybe Neptune can be very dreamy, more so about this is what I like to happen, but Jupiter is more so, hey, we got some things to do, Let's make this shit a reality. All right, next up we have Saturn. Saturn can be scary. She could be a scary one, okay? Saturn, I would say Saturn is feminine energy. It leans more so feminine, but it can be either feminine or masculine. Saturn is about our structure, our limitations, the limits that we set for ourselves, and the limits that life might have for us in general. Saturn is a planet that follows through. This energy can be very constricting and limiting, but for positive benefit. This is never going to happen just to happen. It always happens either as a result or something, or as a precursor to something. Because this is about our discipline and our limitations, Saturn can also talk about our psychological turmoil that we might go through. This could talk about abuse that we go through in our lives. This could talk about sobriety. If you have issues or problems struggling with sobriety or addiction, this definitely can talk about that as well. Saturn can be very excluding. So, yeah. The energy, for example, of Mars is like very exerting a lot of energy. Saturn is more so, I'm gonna give you a little bit and set a boundary there, because I know I can only give so much and I need to be getting something back to be giving, period. Okay? Saturn is also very dry and it's really cold, so this can also describe very well the energy of Saturn. So that is the 7 traditional, I'd say, planets and luminaries. Now, there are other astrological and planetary bodies, and I can go through those as well. I might do those in a different video, though. Yes, I actually will do those in a different video. So if you guys are wanting to know more about the other planets and astral bodies, so those things include things like Neptune, Uranus, Pallas, Pluto, Ceres. I usually say Ceres. I think that's wrong. Your north node, your south node, all of these things are big influencers in our charts. So it is important to know and to know about them. So if you guys are wanting to know, definitely comment, definitely like this video. Let me know. Oh, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Like I said, if you want to see more, go ahead and comment below, like this video. Make sure to subscribe and check out my TikTok. Check out my Instagram. I post little readers on there. And they're really juicy. And they're short. So if you're definitely like, girl, I love my 20-minute readings here on YouTube sometimes, but I need a 5-minute-er, you can definitely find those on my TikTok or on my Instagram. Instagram, I actually don't do videos. I just do reading posts. So if you're like, I don't even want to hear you, I don't have time to sit and watch a video, I just want to read, screenshot it, come back to it later, you can do that on Instagram. All right, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. It was a pleasure to do this video, and I can't wait to do the next one. Bye.